The 9-step plan to end corruption in Paraguay. This is a brief discussion of the 9-step plan to change Paraguay and the world. If we can get the vast majority of people to do each of these steps, then change is virtually guaranteed. Step 1. Choose. Go to our video on the 12-point agenda and review it and choose which points you support. It is up to you. You can be with us if you agree with one point or all 12. Step 2. Share the message. Assuming you agree with at least one point in the agenda, join us. Use all your social media and email channels to tell everyone you know about this project. Step 3. Call people every week. Try to call at least 2 people you know every week to tell them about this project. If you can do more, it is better. But it is important to have real conversations to make sure people are getting the message. Phone calls cannot be censored, at least not yet. Step 4. Wear purple each month. This will be the first Sunday of each month, the day of an election, and the 4 Sundays prior to each election. If the points that you agree with on the agenda have not been enacted into law, you wear purple. It can be a purple t-shirt, pants, cap, sticker, scarf, or whatever you have in your wardrobe to make it clear you are with Team Purple, 1984 no more. Only do this if you intend to follow through on Step 6 below. If Congress is working on a bill that would appear to satisfy the 1984 no more requirements but you think it does not, wear an orange cap or something else orange that sticks out with the purple so people can come up to you and you can inform them of the issues with the bill. This will be important if the government starts implementing mass censorship in the media. Step 5. Pray to God each week. If you are not religious you can skip this step, although it would not hurt if you gave it a try. The strategy is not solely dependent on divine intervention. But divine intervention is always great to have on your side. For Christians and many other theistic religions, it is mandatory. If there is a spiritual problem, you cannot solely rely on political means to solve it. In other words, people deserve the government they get based on their behaviors. And have you looked how we are treating each other on Twitter recently? Without repentance there can be no forgiveness. We ask people to pray at least every Sunday for 10 to 30 minutes. If you can pray more in terms of minutes per day or frequency, that is even better. We will include a sample prayer at our website 1984nomore.com if you need some suggestions. If you are spiritual and not religious you can meditate and visualize that our movement is successful. Step 6. Vote the algorithm in each election. If you are still wearing purple shirts because every agenda item you personally agree with is not enacted, vote against every sitting incumbent in every race. This is both in the primary and general elections, with a particular emphasis on the primaries. You need to vote against every single incumbent with no exceptions whether they are your best friend, someone you like, someone who is a good legislator, or even someone who has voted for everything on the agenda. This only works if we only reward results with no excuses. After you have eliminated the incumbent, vote for the candidate in the race that supports the 1984 no more agenda that you most agree with. If there are none in the race, vote for the person most likely to beat the incumbent, regardless of political party. If there is no incumbent or 1984 no more candidate in the race, vote your preference, but consider voting against the people with the most political experience so politicians do not jump from position to stay in office. Step 7. React. This is a 4-part mindset you must maintain at all times to avoid divide and conquer tactics. First, do not allow anyone to provoke you to violence or mayhem. Remember, those that suggest violence are most likely government plans trying to make the movement look bad. Second, do not respond to opinion polls. Make politicians speak to the people directly to discover which agenda items they support, not political consultants. Additionally, polls are often manipulated to demoralize voting groups. If none of us respond to polls, no one should expect polls to show any support for our movement. Third, be tolerant of everyone no matter how odious they are personally. To build a broad coalition you need to be comfortable working with people you hate. Respond to any such request. If Franklin Roosevelt could team up with the second largest mass murderer in history, Joseph Stalin, to defeat Hitler, then I will ally with anyone in unity to return power to the people. If Jesus ministered to whores, centurions, and tax collectors, then I also can break bread with sinners. Fourth, focus on what is important, not allowing people to focus on personal attacks that deflect attention from the real issues. If someone attacks you, say something like, "If I admit I am worse than Adolf Hitler, will you tell me where I am wrong about the agenda?" Step 8. Oppose. This step is desirable, but will be hard for people to embrace. We should all oppose any substantially new policy until our agenda, and specifically the citizens' veto, is passed. These include policies that you agree with in the interest of unity with the coalition and focusing things back on the rights of people to veto all legislation. Our position should be there should be no new policy not directly voted on by the people. 1984 No more candidates should pledge to vote against any substantial new bill until the agenda they support is passed. Voting for emergency bills that keep the government functioning is fine. Just no substantially new policies. For particularly intolerable policies such as banning cash to go to central bank digital currencies, we will stage a national strike together, refusing to accept any electronic money controlled by the government that cannot be exchanged for cash. The same goes for compulsory injections of experimental medicines and the issuance of Orwellian passes to show you complied with those injections. The government cannot arrest an entire nation for not obeying its tyrannical dictates forced on them by foreign bankers and a billionaire that control the World Health Organization. Step 9. Subscribe. This is optional, but to keep updated on the movement's progress, subscribe to the channels at the link in the description below. If we can get 70 to 80% or more people across the nation to commit to following to each of these 9 steps throughout every election cycle until our demands are met, we will eventually win. This is because at the end of the day, politicians want nothing more than to get re-elected. Show them you are serious about this, and you might be surprised how much they get done to keep their positions of power, even if that power is significantly less after our agenda passes. If you want more information on anything here, including a detailed explanation of why these items are constructed this way, go to 1984nomore.com.